pass to him. He fires to the top. One-handed catch.
Buchanan Simons is open. Breaks the tackle. This is going to be a 70-yard touchdown. Buchanan Simons. Over the top, and that might be the most impressive interception all day. What a shoot!
Breaking through a tackle.
Oh no!
What a ridiculous sequence of events.
He's got Heath McDaniel Jr. inside the 10 to the 5. Touchdown, Carolina.
The kick is blocked from Zuderveld. It's loose.
How? What?
And welcome to Sim Football pregame alongside Tom Welsh. I'm Cameron Irvine. Tom filling in for Mike St. Green. He'll be back in week 4 after our convention. Tom, welcome back. Great slate of games yesterday and ready for some more today.
Yeah, absolutely. We had some close ones yesterday, unlike week 1 where we had some blowouts and high scoring action. But yeah, looking for more of the same today.
Some nail biters, including Arizona holding on to a 20-12 win against Fort Worth on our national coverage on For the Fans. Here's what we've got going on today on Next Level Sports. Maybe. Let's get, how about now? There you go. There's your slate today. Louisiana and Charleston, followed by Jacksonville and Florida. We got bonus coverage of London, Queen City, Vancouver, Lone Star. Tom, we start with Louisiana and Charleston today. What do you think of this matchup?
You know, I'm very intrigued by it. I'm looking to see if Charleston can continue to win after they win last week, and I'm looking to see if Louisiana can bounce back from their, loss to Carolina last week, where Carolina didn't look so good last night.
Yeah, Charleston won 17-5 over Vegas. Going to be interesting to see how Tommy Utah, Reggie Streeter in that Louisiana offense can deal with Charleston if it was just a flash in the pan thing, or if it was a little bit more than that. Charleston's back to their top-ranked defense they were a few seasons ago. Jacksonville and Florida will follow later. Both those teams surprisingly fall in week 1. So the loser of that game is going to go 0-2. That's not where they want to be at the start of the season. Tom and I will be here all day long for game breaks and game updates from our bonus coverage throughout the day. But after the commercial break, we'll send it out to Josh Zirkle, Ramos Lynn, Sham Varner in Charleston at Fort Moultrie Memorial Stadium for the Charleston Predators and the Louisiana Revolution. It starts our coverage of week 2 of the SFL's 17th season, presented by APM Music here on Next Level Sports. We'll be back after this.
for the fans welcomes you to the following presentation of the Simulation Football League.
One of the premier coastal getaway destinations in these United States, Charleston, South Carolina, hosting the confluence of the Wando, Cooper, and Ashley Rivers, and today, hosting this Week 2 matchup between the Louisiana Revolution and the Charleston Predators. This is the Simulation Football League presented by APM Music. Good afternoon, happy SFL game day to you. My name is Josh Circle, bringing you play-by-play action, and joining me for the broadcast today, a real treat for y'all, Mexico City Aztecs owner and SFL Hall of Famer, Ramos Lynn. Ramos, great to have you here. We've got two teams, not division rivals, but geographic neighbors squaring off today. What do you like about this matchup?
Thank you very much, Josh. Well, first of all, Louisiana last week, they were losing 31-0. However, the defense then clamped up. They scored 17 points. They still lost, but they showed some promise in the second half, and Charleston did not allow a touchdown last week against Vegas, a very powerful Vegas offense that was unable to put the ball in the end zone. Only allowed 3 points on defense. The other 2 was on a safety, of course, with the defense of the Las Vegas Fury getting those 2 points. So 2 very different squads. I think it's going to be a defensive struggle for a little bit.
I'm very excited to see this Charleston defense in person, Ramos. Not only the field goal that you mentioned, they only allowed 60 rushing yards on the ground and only allowed 31% on third down conversions. That was second best in the SFL in Week 1. We are just a moment away from kicking this thing off. This is only the third matchup in SFL history between these two teams. The home team has won both games. That's not a great trend for Louisiana, who, as you mentioned, was on the losing end last week. Louisiana with white helmets, white jerseys, white pants will kick off to Charleston in their new all black and red get-ups. And we are underway here in South Carolina. And Charleston will take this to the 30 and are very close to breaking one at the 35. And Charleston will set up shop at their own 34-yard line. Ramos, nice field position to start this drive.
Yeah, Charleston's offense then with TD Drew. He has Macaro and Simmons, including Jay Taylor also as a wide receiver. Charleston, for the first time in a very long time, using 3 wide receivers in the roster. Normally they had 2 tight ends and 2 wide receivers, and they like to run the ball with Keith Swearingen.
And we will meet those wide receivers in just a minute. TD Drew under center will throw on first down, dealing to the right side, and that is caught. And it is Jay Taylor. Let's meet the Charleston Predators offense. The quarterback is TD Drew. Those 3 wide receivers, Ramos, Ken Macaro, Jay Taylor, and Buchanan Simons. The tight end, Lyric Da Vinci. The halfback, Keith Swearingen in his 7th season. And at guard, Fred Dukes. That is your Charleston Predators offense. 2nd and 7 now. And Drew will line up in the shotgun. Swearingen attached to his right hip. All 3 wideouts in the game for the Preds. Nickel look for Louisiana. And the lefty drops back and throws over the middle. That is complete. Da Vinci with his first catch of the game. And the 4th-year tight end moves the chains for Charleston.
Yeah, a very good tight end. Da Vinci is more so in the passing game than in the run game. He's a good blocker, but he's more of a pass catcher. And Louisiana, it will be good for them to get an early stop and just give their offense some decent field position, because this Charleston defense is pretty good.
Drew back under center now, hands off to Swearingen. Real quick dot.
Making the tackle there.
Only that's a couple yards. 2nd and 7.
Yeah, making the tackle right there. Chuck Diesel. Good linebacker there in the middle of the field. 2nd down and 7, and it looks like Charleston is going to pass this.
Yeah, and only 5 in the box for Louisiana. 6 defensive backs on the field for the Revolution. Drew out of the shotgun again. Dealing to the left side. That is deflected and nearly scooped up by Macaro, but that's going to hit the ground. And a 3rd down coming up for Charleston.
Drew wanted to have a penalty, but I don't think he's going to get any. So 3rd down and 7. And this very talented Louisiana secondary, they have 5 players, including Arthur and Hood as the corners. Mike Ryan coming from San Diego. Tank Bennett, the veteran, and Doug Day. They're a very good group.
And we will meet that team, that defensive unit, in just a second. In the event they stay on the field, Drew, long completion, Buchanan Simons to the end zone, touchdown Charleston. And that is all-time touchdown number 50 for the 7th-year wide receiver Buchanan Simons. Charleston strikes first.
Yeah, beautiful throw right there by TD Drew. Congratulations right there to Buchanan Simons then. But a very good throw, getting behind the defense and just where his receiver could get it for the touchdown.
Tremendous athleticism by the 7th-year wide receiver at 6'4", 215 pounds, Buchanan Simons. And Charleston, who prevailed in their Week 1 matchup in Las Vegas, looking to do the same here, defending home turf. And they're going to make this 7-0 pending the extra point.
Yeah, a great start for Charleston because, yeah, their defense was sensational last week, but their offense wasn't that great. They only scored 17 points in their victory against Vegas. So already with 7 with just, 1 minute and 30 seconds elapsed in the game.
The drive took just 5 plays, 48 yards, 32 of those coming on the catch and run from Buchanan Simons. Charleston up 7-0. Little weather report here for you. Do our best Al Roker for you here, Ramos. 91 degrees. Partly sun. Josh Zirkle, Ramos Lynn, joining you here on Next Level Sports. So glad to have you for Week 2 SFL action. Louisiana getting the ball here, running this out to the 27-yard line. And this is where Louisiana will get their first trip on offense.
Yeah, and they need to get Reggie Streeter involved early and often. They brought in Cameron Collier, their fullback from Lone Star, and they really need to establish the run game and take the ball away from the Charleston offense.
Cameron Collier was an addition I liked. I think that he has halfback potential, but also a tremendous blocker, especially between the tackles. And this will be our first look, Ramos, at Tommy Utah, who's going to deal on first down. That is deflected and intercepted. Johnny Bravo snags it out of the air, and Charleston's going to be back on the offensive side of the ball. What a tough...
Yeah, this defense really doesn't give up much. As you can see, very tight coverage by everybody in the Charleston defense, and Bravo able to get the interception. Charleston already in scoring position here.
Bravo had an outstanding game last week, had 7 passes deflected against Las Vegas, did not have an interception. He solves that problem coming up with his first pick of season 17 right here. And once again, the boys in black are on offense. When the lefty hands off to Swearingen, makes a move behind the line, and he'll barely get back to the line of scrimmage, no gain. Brian Craven, the 4th-year outside linebacker on the tackle, 2nd and 10.
Yeah, he was one of a few players, actually, that came over to Louisiana from Lone Star. That was, Doug Day, Brian Craven, and the before-mentioned Cameron Collier, who came from Lone Star to Louisiana to strengthen this defense and offense.
2 tight ends for Charleston. Drew will throw again. That is over the middle and incomplete. Intended, I think, for Swearingen. Just a little route over the middle. While we have a second, let's meet the Louisiana Revolution defense. The defensive line, Leonard Butler Sr., Luther Gond, the rookie Chance Wall at defensive tackle, and Derek Genko, the defensive end. Your linebackers are Brian Craven and Chuck Diesel, both 4-year linebackers. And in the secondary, Roloman Hood, Doug Day, Tank Bennett, Mike Ryan, the Sky Marshal at free safety, and Evan Arthur at cornerback. 3rd and 10 now for Louisiana. 4 wideouts on the field. Drew under center, big drop, throw it to the left side, looking for it. He's got it! Inside the 10-yard line is Ken Maccaro, and Maccaro's first catch of the game is a big one. Second catch, 1st and goal for Charleston.
Yeah, that's more of a, I'm not even going to say 50-50 ball. It's more of a 60-40 ball since Ryan, unfortunately, was not in a very good position. But a great throw again by TD Drew, and another 1st and goal here for Charleston as they show a running set here. It could also be a swing pass, but it's definitely, I think, going to the outside.
Terrell Sutherland, the rookie, checks in, and he gets the ball behind the line of scrimmage, his first touch of the game. And unfortunately, it's a negative one. Terrell Sutherland, apologies for not mentioning his name during the offensive introductions. He coming off a SFL minor league title in season 3. He's a downfield blocker, but also a great threat in the red zone. although not necessarily evidenced by that last play. 2nd and goal now for the Preds. The offset eye, Sutherland will stay in. Swearingen, nowhere to go. Stuck behind the line, and a gaggle of white jerseys there. Doug Day among them. That brings up 3rd and goal.
Yeah, decision time here for Charleston. You could try to get the ball in the end zone with a throw, or you could try to check it down and see if you can get the yards after catch enough for a touchdown. That's going to be 4 wide receivers, so they may try to go to the end zone and be aggressive.
Da Vinci in the game, Swearingen not. Drew over the middle, and that is caught, and I think that is actually Jay Taylor, the 4th-year wide receiver, who's been very busy already. Not only in the return game, but also making a catch there. Unfortunately, that's a little short. It's going to be 4th and goal, and I think we're going to see the kicking unit for Charleston come out on the field.
Yeah, we will, and a good drive here for Charleston. It's not a touchdown, but they can come away with points after the interception. Jay Taylor was a tight end for his first 3 seasons in the league. He was right behind Lyric Da Vinci in the depth chart and now making the change to wide receiver.
The field goal is only 19 yards. That goes through the uprights without issue. Brad Bretchett, who last played in season 11 for what was then the Alaska Storm, comes through with career field goal number 60. He was 1 for 1 last week. Welcome back to the main event, Mr. Bretchett. Charleston up 10-0 here. Josh Zirkle, Ramos Lynn in Charleston with you. Hattori Hanzo on stats. Cameron Irvine producing here on Next Level Sports. So glad to have you with us. The Predators, who prevailed last week, have jumped out to a 10-0 lead on the Louisiana Revolution. The Tommy Utah Company will get another bite at the apple, so to speak. Taking over on offense at the 26-yard line. Ramos, what do you want to see Louisiana do on this drive?
I think they have to run the ball. They threw the ball first, first down. It got intercepted, so I think you have to give the ball here to Reggie Streeter, see what he can do. And they're in a power set. Maybe they're going to run it here.
Utah under center. Throwing to the left side, deflected again, and that was nearly picked off. Corey Menner, who had an INT last week. Very fortunate for Louisiana, he did not come up with that because Ramos, he would have been gone.
Yeah, that was 6 points easy for Corey Menner had he come away with that interception. By the way, Brad Bretchett, as you said, he played with Florida last in season 11. He is one of 2 players on this Charleston squad with a ring, the other one being Jack Brown. But Brad Bretchett actually got 2 championships with Florida in season 10 and 11. Well, it was then the Alaska Storm, seasons 10 and 11.
In the midst of that tremendous Storm dynasty, and there is Reggie Streeter getting the call on 2nd down. He'll get a couple and then get shoved back to the line of scrimmage. Call it 3rd and 6. And Streeter was so good at season 15 after that MVP season. He lost nearly 900 yards of production, Ramos, and was still in the top 5 in the league in carries, rushing yards, and rushing touchdowns.
Yeah, he's always been a tremendous running back ever since his London days. London, New Orleans as well, then now with Louisiana, and a big hit right there by the defense. Going to be 4th down.
Joseph Sabolka bringing pressure. That's going to be ruled an incomplete. Utah could not get the pass away. That might be a deflection as well. But a brutal 3 and out for Louisiana after the interception. Will now punt it away. And Charleston, everything coming up Predators at this point in the game with 6:05 left in the first quarter. The boys in black ruling the roost at this point. Pressure on the punt, gets away. Now we'll go back to Taylor, and Taylor takes a shot. Oh, buddy, that's why they invented the fair catch. And Charleston will take over at their own 33-yard line.
And Charleston's streak of not allowing a touchdown continues here, as it's been now 4.5 quarters. Only 3 points allowed for that defense, which is pretty crazy in today's SFL.
Absolutely. Sutherland back in the game. Swearingen gets the handoff. He'll get maybe a yard. They're going to give him credit for 2. Chuck Diesel, among others, on the tackle, 2nd and 8.
And they really need a turnover, I think, Louisiana does. And the best guy to do it, I think, is Tank Bennett, the strong safety. He's one of the leaders of this defense. He's always right there for, leading the league in tackles. Very active player.
Take Bennett on milestone watch. We'll get to that in a second. Drew takes a shot, and down he goes. That is a big sack for Charleston. I believe that is Luther Gahn, number 70. No, excuse me, that's Derek Genko, number 78. Genko with a nice little swim move there. Taking Drew down to the turf, Ramos.
Yeah, 78 and 76 look pretty similar in this Louisiana uniforms. Luther Gahn, number 76. Genko, number 78. And a good play right there is going to be 3rd and 15. And Louisiana has had trouble stopping the deep pass. Let's see what they do here.
Louisiana back in the dime look. Lefty drops back, fires to the right side, and there's a deflection at just the right time. Rollerman Hood, the 7th-year quarterback, coming up with a big TD there. Had 8 passes deflected last season and gets a clutch one there. And now Charleston is going to have to punt this away.
Yeah, Rollerman Hood is one of the few players that still remain from that New Orleans Pharaohs franchise. Tank Bennett was also there, and Reggie Streeter. But, it's now basically a combination of some guys who stood from the New Orleans days, some guys who came up from Lone Star as well.
Punt fielded, and out to the 44 is Louisiana, and they will get nice field position to start their drive. If you're new to the SFL, the Simulation Football League combines traditional sports, esports, and a role-playing game into one. Team strategies executed in real time by our simulations as real-life players compete on the virtual gridiron. For more information about the SFL, visit our website at simulationfl.net. The SFL, we put the fan in fantasy. Louisiana putting the heavy set right there on first down, and Streeter will catch it out of the backfield, and he'll gain a noticeable amount there, gain of 4. 2nd and 6, Streeter applauding, and I think that's a good start to the drive, Ramos.
Yeah, it's the first 4 yards of Tommy Utah in today's game. He is 1 of 4 right now, 4 yards. And it looks like Charleston is running some nickel defense, so that's why I say, try to run the ball here a little bit and see if you can bring the safety down.
Drop back on 2nd and 6, and that is complete. Louisiana moving the chains here early. That is Chase Earl for a fresh set of downs. 1st and 10.
And now in Charleston's territory, very important here for Louisiana to come away with points. Even if it's 3 points, that's not too bad.
Earl,
they need to take care of the ball.
Excuse me, Ramos. Earl, the 4th-year wide receiver, needs 39 yards to reach 2,000 for the career. Streeter on the left side this time. He'll get a couple, that's it. Charleston winning the war in the trenches so far. And Streeter a bit dejected after that run, just a gain of 2. 2nd and 8.
Yeah, it's going to be tough to pass against this Charleston defense. They have 6 defensive backs. They only have 5 players in the front, as far as obviously star players. They only have 5 in their front 7, but they have 6 in the secondary.
Cameron Collier checks back in to lead for Streeter, and the result not much different than the previous play. That is Jack Brown coming up on the tackle. 3rd and 6.
Jack Brown, the veteran, has played in the SFL ever since season 9. The unquestioned leader of this defense.
127 tackles last season for Brown. 3rd best in the league. And now Utah with a deep drop on 3rd down. Throwing to the right side. That is caught! And it's Garrison Blue inside the 10-yard line. A huge catch for Blue. 1st and goal, Louisiana.
Yeah, a beautiful catch, and then throwing the defender to the ground. I wasn't able to see the number on that defender, and
that's Josh
big
Reese,
first
number
down.
22.
Yeah, that's him.
And then he gets thrown to the turf for his efforts. Johnny Bravo making the touchdown-saving tackle. And that tackle might be worth 4 points by the end of this drive, Ramos. 1st and goal for the Revolution. Cameron Collier staying in at fullback. Twins to the bottom of your screen. Streeter gets the call. A big block there, and Streeter's into the end zone. Touchdown, Louisiana. Get some heavies up front. Streeter's got a lane to run in. And that's about all you got to do for that. Tremendous drive to get the inertia back on Louisiana's side. 6 plays, 47 yards, culminating with that 8-yard Streeter run. Now the extra point pending from Otis Boudreaux. And that is up and good. Boudreaux perfect in season 16, one of 8 perfect kickers in the SFL. And the Charleston lead has been cut to 3, 10-7 now. In the first half of that quarter, it looked like it was Charleston all day, all night. And the Revs summoning the courage and the fortitude to make a game of it. Now they will kick this back off to Charleston and let TD Drew and company return to the offensive side. Kick is away. Fielded inside the end zone. Out to the 20, and that was about all that Charleston will get on that return. Jay Taylor returning kicks. He's going to stay out of the field for offense. 1st and 10 Charleston. TD Drew, his 6th season in the SFL. Only 19 interceptions last season. That is an astoundingly low number. That was tops in the SFL. And he'll throw again here, going over the middle, big time, and it's intercepted. Louisiana coming up with a turnover of their own with that high-priced secondary, and it's Tank Bennett, the 7th-year strong safety, coming up with a huge interception. And Louisiana's back on offense. And he's just playing center field, nothing special there. Aside from jumping 78 inches off the ground to snag that football and bring it down. And now the Revolution here in plus territory. And you see the frustration on the Charleston sideline, who were firing on all cylinders just a few moments ago. And now here come the Revs. Utah going to the right side. That is a very nice out route. And complete to Garrison Blue. No, excuse me, that's 88 B.E. Robo. While we have a second, let's meet the entire Revolution offense. The quarterback is the rookie Tommy Utah. The wide receivers, Chase Earl, B.E. Robo, and Mike Twinscrew. The tight end, Garrison Blue. The fullback, Cameron Collier. The halfback, Reggie Streeter. The kicker, Otis Boudreaux. And punting, Walter Melanishin. As Streeter gets up the middle. And that is a nice gain on 2nd down. Very close to the sticks. They're going to spot him just short. And we got a compelling 3rd and inches coming up here for Louisiana.
Yeah, and I think you have to run the ball again on 3rd and inches. I don't see a reason why you will throw probably like a swing pass to Streeter. You know, it's basically like a run. But I think you just run the ball up the middle here.
Yeah, I agree. It seems like they finally got Streeter going. And that Charleston will jump off sides. And Streeter goes up the right side anyway. And they're going to decline this penalty. With Streeter getting a nice gain to officially get Louisiana into the red zone. And now Louisiana is looking large and in charge here in this game, Ramos.
Yeah, they really are. And, you know, after that interception, it just seems that, you know, Charleston is trying to, you know, stop this offense, obviously, but at the same time, they're making some mistakes. They're trying a little bit too hard, probably, and trying to get the jump start and try to stop that 3rd and inches, trying to push the line. But Louisiana looking pretty decent here at the end of this quarter.
Cameron Collier stays in the game at fullback. 3 wideouts on the field for Louisiana. Streeter gets the call up the middle and could not keep up with his blocking. He's going to get maybe a yard. A gaggle of others, Joseph Saboka and Jack Hoffman, among others on the tackle, 2nd and 9.
Tommy Utah, you know, slowly but surely getting better in this game. Had a rough start. You know, his first pass was an interception, but, you know, little by little improving. Another power set here for the Revolution.
Utah under center. Streeter gets the call again. And the blocking cannot get Charleston out of the trenches. Just a tremendous job by this Charleston's defensive line.
Yeah, especially because that was a 6-man front by Charleston. So, it's only 6 men against essentially what it is, 7 or 8 blockers. So a tremendous job by the defense.
Utah, short drop, throwing to Streeter. Streeter will get a yard or two and then try and sneak out of bounds, but he is not going to make it. Clock continues to run. That will likely be the end of the opening frame here in Charleston. And that we'll have a field goal from the Revs likely coming up. Don't go anywhere. You're watching the SFL presented by APM Music on Next Level Sports. Welcome back to Charleston. Josh Circle, Ramos Lynn calling the game for week 2. The Simulation Football League presented by APM Music here on Next Level Sports. And it is Otis Boudreau attempting to tie this game with a 25-yard field goal. As we open the second quarter of action, so glad to have you with us. Boudreau knocks it through, and we are not at a 10 apiece, Ramos. What a game we have on our hands all of a sudden.
Yeah, very good right here for the Revolution team. Last week they started off very slow. They were losing 31-0 against the Carolina Skyhawks in the second quarter. And for a second, it looked like Charleston was going to do a similar thing, but Louisiana able to come back and tie the game. And that's the first touchdown allowed by the Charleston defense in the season.
London and Queen City are going to get underway in just a few minutes. That'll be on SFL Twitch. The consoles of House Northrop will be calling that game. The Rick meter, I understand, will be in attendance as well, as Jay Taylor gets this out to the Charleston 24-yard line. And we will see how Charleston bounces back even, from that TD Drew interception on the previous drive. Drew will be in the shotgun, Swearingen and Sutherland on either hip. 3 wideouts in the game. Nickel look for Louisiana. The lefty drops back over the middle. That is caught, and that's number 14, Buchanan Simons. And they're going to give him the first down there, Ramos. Charleston moves the chains on the first play of the drive.
And he has had a tremendous first half already, Simons, with 32 yards. He has a touchdown already on that deep pass. Actually, 43 yards total. 32 was his longest catch. That was a touchdown.
And what a beautiful touchdown it was. Drew with a short drop this time, throwing it, and that is off the fingers of Russell, the backup running back. And Russell will take the sad walk to the sideline. 2nd and 10.
Well, and Charleston, looks like they're losing a little bit of concentration right there. They were not making any mistakes for the most part in the first quarter, but Louisiana has recovered, and they need to start stringing some first down to get that confidence back.
Drew dropping back, throwing toward the sticks, and that is caught. Tremendous catch. Just in the nick of time. Ken Macaro moving the chains for Charleston, and they have a fresh set of downs.
Yeah, great route, great pass, and a very good first down.
Charleston coming alive after that TD Drew interception. One drive ago. Sutherland back in the game in the staggered eye. Drew a handoff to Swearingen. Swearingen needed one more block, stopped at the line. They're going to give him maybe a yard. Chuck Diesel, Doug Day. Doug Day coming down from the strong safety position to get in on that tackle, 2nd and 9. One of the things I'm sorry, go ahead, Ramos.
Yeah, no, Charleston, they started to have a very balanced attack right here. That was the fifth carry for Swearingen, and that's the 6th. Go ahead.
Sutherland will stay in the game. And Charleston to get one more yard on the Swearingen run. Brian Craven in on that stop. 3rd and 8, and suddenly this Louisiana run defense looking quite stout. Swearingen not having a great deal of real estate in which to operate. Actually, 6 attempts, 6 yards. Not a great average.
Yeah, his longest carry so far is a 2-yard gain.
5 wideouts for Charleston this time, and that is caught. Buchanan Simons coming up with another big catch and another first down. Charleston somehow scrapping this drive together, grinding it out, coming up with big catches outside the numbers.
Yeah, beautiful throw. Another 50-50 ball that Buchanan Simons catches, and you cannot fault the coverage by Rollerman Hood. He was right there, but a great play by number 14.
Clock continues to run. 8:30 left here in the first half. And now Lyric Da Vinci will check back in at tight end. The handoff to Swearingen. Penetration behind the line. That's Leonard Butler Sr. First in on the stop. Give him a whoop or 2. Loss of 1. That's a TFL for Butler. 2nd and 11.
Yeah, and the guy who actually made a phenomenal play was number 59, Chuck Diesel, because he counterblocked. That was a power play. So the guard pull, he had to counterblock to not allow Swearingen to go to the outside. So he holds his ground. Swearingen has to go inside, and the defensive line is waiting for him.
Swearingen again, this time on the outlet pass, dragging a couple of defenders to the 31-yard line. But it's going to be a 3rd and long for Charleston.
Yeah, TD Drew already with 143 yards, and a lot of them are on those 50-50 balls that he's throwing deep down the field, and this seems that it's going to be another one. They have to be very wary of that deep pass.
Trips to the bottom of your screen. Drew in the shotgun. Only 5 in the box for Louisiana. Drew sets, deals over the middle, and that is caught! Buchanan Simons! Another huge catch! Sneaking through that Louisiana defense, and Charleston is in the red zone.
And a great throw right there by TD Drew, just putting the ball exactly where it needed to be, right behind the defense of Tank Bennett, and between 4 different Revolution players, including Rollerman Hood and company. A big first down for the Predators.
And a great job by Simons holding onto that ball right before getting blasted by Mike Ryan. 5 DBs for Louisiana. Sutherland checks back in. Drew will throw on first down, going to the left side. That is caught. Ken Macaro running a precious 4-and-out route there. They're actually going to give him 3 yards, 2nd and 7. I'm tempted to call it 6.5.
Yeah, that was a long 3 yards. That was like 3.5, but officially a 2nd and 7 coming up. Louisiana Revolution defense trying to hold as Buchanan Simons is going to be on the sideline. So there's going to be a one wide receiver set. So this is going to go to Keith Swearingen, it seems.
Elvin Russell checks back in. He'll block for Swearingen, who goes up the middle. Block might have been a generous term, just a yard there. And Swearingen get a yard, 3rd and 6. What do you want to see them? What do you want to see Louisiana do here, Ramos? Or excuse me, Charleston.
Yeah, I think they're gonna throw the ball here. They have 3 receivers. Look out for those slants, maybe to the slot receiver here. I think it's a tight end with Da Vinci.
It looks like Da Vinci, and it looks like they're going to Da Vinci, who did not even turn around to look for the ball. Buchanan Simon saw it, but could not get his fingers to the leather. And we're going to see another Brechet field goal attempt here. And this should give Charleston the lead with 6:09 to play in the half.
Yeah, I did not see if Drew got pressured, but that was definitely rushed by the quarterback. I think that was going to Simons, but the development of the play needed to be just a bit longer than that, maybe a half second longer.
Brechet, the field goal is blocked. And down it goes, and Louisiana keeping points off the board. And you see the frustration there from Brad Brechet. Probably longing for those sweet days in Alaska. And the Revolution taking points off the board for the Preds, and they go back on offense.
Yeah, that's huge. That's a huge play right there, because this seems to be a low-scoring game. It's not surprising. Charleston, again, very good defense. The offense, was hit or miss last week. Only 22 points last week, combined. And Louisiana, after, a 31-0 deficit, they scored 17 points. The game ended 31-17.
Utah dealing to BE Robo, and that is good for good for 8. 2nd and 2. Robo very close to the sticks, but went out of bounds. Stops the clock with 5. Clock is running. And Cameron Collier checks back in. Streeter around the right side has a first down and more. Room to run on the right side. Makes a tackle or miss, and it's finally brought down by John Stemango. What a huge gain for Streeter there in plus territory.
Yeah, that's a great design. That's a power play again. The guard pulls, and we're not going to see the full replay, but the guard pulls, and he has to pick basically a defensive back on the play, so it's no match on offensive lineman against a safety or a corner. And Reggie Streeter wasn't touched until like 25 yards after he got past the line of scrimmage.
Collier will stay in the game. 2 tight ends for the Revs. Streeter again. Streeter getting around the right side, a spin move. Yields an extra yard or 2. 2nd and 8. Ramos, this Charleston defense allowed only 60 rushing yards in week 1. Reggie Streeter up to 55 here after a quarter and a half.
Yeah, and 57 with that run. So Reggie Streeter and this offensive line of Louisiana doing a really good job so far in this first half.
Utah out of the shotgun, thrown over the middle. And that is caught. What an amazing catch. Chase Earl getting down and dirty to dig that ball up off the turf. What a huge catch for Louisiana, and that'll move the chains.
Yeah, and credit the rookie as well, Tommy Utah, who had enough time to throw the ball. And right between the corner and the safety, one of the toughest plays to do for a quarterback. If you throw it too early, or too late, that's going to be an interception by the safety. And he just threw it at the perfect time.
Collier will step out. 3 wide receivers now for Louisiana. Garrison Blue lined up to the left of Tommy Utah. Utah, 5-step drop, thrown to the right side, and that is caught. And that is Mike Twinscrew. I believe that is Mr. Twinscrew's first catch of the afternoon. And that is good for 7 yards, 2nd and 3.
Yeah, that's his first catch, first target actually of the game. Coming 4 minutes and 20 seconds left in the second quarter. They're going to give the ball here to Streeter again, I think.
Collier checks back in. Streeter will run to the right side, and then there is a safety valve throw by Streeter. Streeter nearly had a chance to break a big one. Needed one more block and could not come up with it. It's Josh Reese making the tackle. Big 3rd down here, 3rd and 1, Ramos.
Yeah, big play right there by the secondary of Charleston, not allowing for this to go for any longer than 2 yards. 3rd and 1. They're going to go in a very similar formation. I think this is going to go to Streeter again. And let's see if Louisiana can get some good blocking up front.
Streeter up the middle. Streeter has the first down. And a little bit more inside the 15. It's John Stemango wrapping him up in the middle of the field. You see the numbers there for 68 yards, eclipsing what Charleston allowed in the entirety of that week 1 contest against Las Vegas. And a fresh
Streeter
set
was-
of downs. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say Streeter was the MVP of the whole league a couple of seasons ago, and really showing that. Look
And
at that.
Streeter, the MVP of this drive right here with a big touchdown from 12 yards out. And Louisiana takes the lead for the first time today.
Great play by the entirety of that Louisiana offense. Let's look at the blocking here, because it was absolutely masterful. As you can see, the doors open right there as number 41 on Charleston. And I'm sorry, this is the first time I say your name. Zach Lay just got absolutely destroyed by an offensive lineman as Registrator goes untouched 4-6.
Cam Collier and Garrison Blue both had outstanding blocks on that run. You saw glimpses of them there in the replay with 3:01 to play in the half. Louisiana is going to go up 17-0 after the Otis Boudreaux extra point. Coming up on the 8 p.m. Music Halftime Report, Cam and Tom break down the first half between the Revolution and the Predators, update you on the action going on around the league, and look back at the last SFL convention ahead of next weekend's 2021 convention in Houston. It's all coming up on the 8 p.m. Music Halftime Report. And Boudreaux will boot this. Charleston from the goal line. To the 20. No, go forwards, not that direction. Jay Simon. And that is going to be Jay Taylor, excuse me. The portmanteau between Jay Taylor, Buchanan, Simons.
Yeah, he tried to get some space on the outside, but the Louisiana special teams a little bit too quick for him, as they were able to bring him down. And 2:56, I mean, enough time for TD Drew to drive down the field and try to get some points before the half, as Louisiana has scored 17 unanswered.
Absolutely, a lot of opportunity here. Keith Swearinger definitely in play at this point, although not necessarily in that capacity. That is a TFL for Doug Day, who does a great job of defending the run. 3 career pick sixes for Day, but he comes up with some TFLs as well and had one there.
Yeah, I tell you what, like Registrator on the offense and also Chuck Diesel in the defense, those have been the main guys for Louisiana, as well as Doug Day, but man, Diesel has been unbelievable.
And that is a completion over the middle and a fresh set of downs for Charleston, and it's Ken Maccaro, a little slow to get up, and finally gets to his feet. Another 1st and 10 for Charleston. Clock continues to run.
And you can still snap the ball before the 2-minute warning here if you hurry up a little bit. And for Charleston, you have to snap it before the 2-minute warning to get an extra play.
TD Drew does not look like he's in any hurry. And that does bring the 2-minute warning. Charleston driving, trying to tie this game. You're watching the SFL, presented by APM Music on Next Level Sports. Stay with us, short break, coming right back. Welcome back to Charleston, South Carolina. Predators Revolution. Charleston driving here at the end of the first half. TD Drew, the left-hander, drops back, throws to the right side, and that is complete to Ken Maccaro, who's been very active on this drive. That's a gain of 5 yards. For 2nd and 5, Josh Zirkle, Ramos, Lynn in the booth. Latori Hadzo on stats. Cameron Irvine producing here on Next Level Sports. So glad to have you with us. And Ramos, Charleston's got a chance to put some points on the board here before we go to the locker rooms.
Yeah, and that was a decent start to that, to this 2-minute drill, essentially. Getting a catch for a few yards, getting out of bounds, stopping the clock. You still have 3 timeouts in your pocket, so more than enough time.
Swearinger breaks a tackle behind the line, but cannot get past the brutish roughness of Brian Craven. Looked like he fell out of the sky to land on Swearingen there to make that tackle. 3rd and 3.
Pete Swearingen last week ran for close to 200 yards and so far has 10 yards on 7 attempts.
He's been shut down. Drew over the middle. That is caught. And Charleston will move the chains again. Maccaro, which I believe is his 3rd catch of this drive. We're going to whoop it up a little bit as Charleston approaches midfield. 1:18 to play in the first half.
Yeah, your next play, I think, has to be a pass to the outside and try to get out of bounds to stop the clock again.
Sutherland checks back in. 1:03 to play here. Drew under center. Short drop. Dealing to the left side. Swearingen has it. Swearingen makes a defender miss. And it's Brian Craven again bringing him down. And Charleston goes to the hurry-up. Less than a minute to play here in the first half.
Yeah, he couldn't get out of bounds. He tried to, but a great play by the Louisiana defense, keeping him in bounds.
Louisiana's going to stay in that nickel to the right side. And it's Sutherland. And Sutherland will get a couple yards. And finally, Charleston will call timeout. And I think we have time to go back to SFL Studios for a game break. Cam and Mike, what do you got?
Thanks, Josh. London, Queen City, pick 6 time.
Tanner Hendricks, 48 yards to the house for London, taking a 7-3 lead here early in the first half.
Not good for Queen City, who was off to a decent start, but it's Caswell, not Pickler, throwing the picks. London up 4.
Huge 3rd down for Charleston. Drew thrown over the middle, and that is caught. Maccaro again, his 4th catch of the drive. And now Charleston in plus territory. Sutherland's going to stay in the game. Louisiana staying in that nickel set. Thrown over the middle again. Nearly intercepted, deflected twice, and then dropped by Chuck Diesel, number 59, who had it in both hands twice. Could not bring it in, Ramos.
Yeah, that was the only thing left, I think, for Chuck Diesel to have an unbelievable first half. Cannot blame him too much. I mean, he's a defender, and he's actually looking at the wide receiver all the way through. He basically just peeks to the quarterback, sees the ball, and tries to catch it, but he wasn't paying much attention to the ball. He was paying more attention to the wide receiver striking down the middle. And a 2nd down coming up for the Predators. That would have been a huge play for the Revolution.
Absolutely. Would have sucked a lot of the drama out of the end of this first half. 26 seconds here to play. Sutherland will stay in. Swearingen up the middle on the quick dive. He'll get a couple yards, and Charleston will burn its 2nd timeout. Ramos, they have 1 left.
Hey, that's a really decent play because you put the ball at the 36-yard line now. That's field goal range, just about. But it should be field goal range here for Brad Brechet, who has had 1 blocked. But out of 53 yards at home, it should be good. I think the Predators are going to try to pass the ball deep, see if they can get something long.
Long drop for Drew on 3rd and 6 over the middle again, and this time he cannot bring it in. And Drew looking for a flag. Or maybe just a mulligan on that decision, but not coming. Incomplete.
Yeah, in the
getting it done in the
NFL,
secondary.
in the NFL, probably that's a flag because his receiver just got decapitated, but not in the SFL. That's called a hospital pass. When you throw the ball to your wide receiver and you basically just try to get him killed, that's called a hospital pass, and Maccaro paid for that one.
The perils of being allowed to hit the receiver in this league. This will be a 53-yard attempt for Brad Brechet. He gets it up. Does he have the distance?
No.
No, it actually fell on the goal line. Brechet probably still shaking out those Alaska cobwebs. They're going to give the ball back to Louisiana with 13 seconds left with not bad field position. You see the attempt there, Ramos.
Yeah.
Probably needed to be another 5 yards closer at least.
Yeah, probably yes. A decent attempt. He had enough. As far as accuracy is concerned, that was pretty good, but just not enough leg on that one. And now it's Louisiana. I mean, if they can get about, 25 yards here, they could score.
A deep attempt, and that is caught! Louisiana getting back in business, and now they will call timeout. What a huge throw from Tommy Utah to B.E. Robo. A tremendous game.
Yeah, that's the best pass I've seen from Tommy Utah in 2 games so far in his young SFL career. Putting the ball exactly where it needed to be. That's not easy because, it looks easy because the receiver is wide open, but a lot of the time the quarterback, panics, underthrows the ball, overthrows the ball, but that one was perfect for his wide receiver.
And now 6 seconds left. Louisiana's not going to mess around. Boudreaux is going to get on the field, and Louisiana's going to try and take a 10-point lead. They will have to kick it back to Charleston. But I say take the points while you can get them. I think this is a good decision here. Boudreaux. Kick is up, and that is good. And Louisiana on top, 20-10, Ramos.
Yeah. Despite having 2 timeouts in 6 seconds, you really cannot, gamble it and get an interception or a strip sack or just a fumble. Like, just take your points and go to the half leading by 10.
Jay Taylor waiting on this kick from Otis Boudreaux. This will almost certainly be the last play of the first half. Taylor makes a defender miss, and it will be dragged down to the 22. And that will bring about the end of what has been a very exciting first half. Louisiana with a 10-point lead. You're watching the SFL presented by APM Music on Next Level Sports. Short break and then halftime with Cam and Mike coming up after this.
Welcome to the APM Music Halftime Report along with Tom Welsh. I'm Cameron Irvine. 20-10, Louisiana leads Charleston at the half. And Tom, the first 6-7 minutes of this game, we thought, oh my gosh, Louisiana's going to dig themselves another torrential hole. And turns out week 2 is different than week 1.
Yeah, absolutely. 20 unanswered points by Louisiana really, really, changed the whole game here. It was Charleston the whole way early on, and then like I said, 20 unanswered.
Yeah, it was a crazy first half. Louisiana takes the lead and is in control right now. London leading Queen City 7-3 at the half. Just before the first quarter, London has the football back. So, Tom, we are getting set for the convention. We'll be unboxing some flags at the halftime of Florida and Jacksonville that just came into the mail today. But it's been 2 long years since our last convention in Atlanta, and we'll be down in Houston, and it's going to be a blast. And we thought, well, let's throw it back to the first night of the convention 2 years ago, see what people might be missing as we prepare to invade Houston. This is what that looked like 2 years ago.
We made it to the SFL convention. We're here. Michael Cirillo, the Prasad brothers are here. I don't know where the other one is. Ray Bentley obviously is here. He's up there with Cam. Look at that. Love. Pseudo Nakai here as well. We're all here. We're ready for action. We got the Hall of Fame ceremony up next, as you can see. Hopefully there will be food because I'm starving.
My other question is, why am I here? Seriously, what makes my path to be standing in front of you guys tonight any different than anybody else that's been on this round? Eddie talked about TJ saying, hey, I found this place. It's a great league. Come join up. Same thing happened with Restella. I was actually trying to do the exact same thing Cam was. I wanted to run a fake league, spend a whole season out with a bunch of my friends, give somebody a trophy and go. This guy knew there was no way I would ever see it through. He knew that I didn't have the vision. This man did. So he saw that, the SFL, he said, look, they did it already. Oh, thank God.
Our convention in Atlanta.
Welcome, Cameron.
I give a lot. Hell.
What are we doing?
Fighting for our lives
How are we doing that?
with lasers.
I'm not used to these lasers.
Wait, what do you mean now? These are lasers. How are they? Oh, it's a chainsaw.
Cam,
While we waiting,
Cam, what are we doing?
Overweight.
What are we doing, Cam?
laser tag, dying.
Right now?
I don't know. Apparently not.
I'm ready to fight what I believe in.
What do you believe in?
Lasers. Lasers. That's that we're fighting. Man, I
Squatting in one spot like a camper.
for a little bit, yes.
Ham. walked around the whole time.
Ooh. Yeah. I think I won that one. We're gonna see.
Well, 1440. That was not very good.
Well, what happened?
Third down execution was pretty poor, you know. Everybody they were upstairs, man, quick. And,
That score though.
Stanley, what happened?
Oh, me? I won. That's what happened.
they were upstairs pretty quick, and it was a war zone up there.
Ray, talk to me. What happened?
I shot children, like I've always wanted to.
Did you kill them dead?
I kicked them a lot.
Yeah! 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 Lasers! We're going to rehydrate with a beer. Come on, what do we got? Do it.
If you have a second
Be double fist.
Come back to us. Oh my goodness, just some fun times. Ray obviously talking about the laser tag gun. Not he's a very nice gentleman. Has a beautiful new son. But no, it's a ton of fun, and we had about 40 guys there a couple years ago. Tom, we're gonna have 100 next weekend in Houston, so it's just gonna be a blast. We try to mix it up every year. That particular convention, we were at main event doing some laser tag, some bowling, some good stuff. And thanks to Andy Hamilton for vlogging his experience, which was full of a lot of Ray Bentley, as it should be.
Right, absolutely. I wish I could be there next weekend. I'm unfortunately not going to be able to make it, but looking forward to the next one and the next one and the next one after that. Can't wait to act like children with a bunch of grown men and women.
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll get a look at some merchandise that came through next halftime. But for now, it's 7-3 London on top of Queen City. It's 20-10 Louisiana on top of Charleston. And we'll be back for the second half after this. You're watching the SFL presented by APM Music on Next Level Sports.
Second half is here. Welcome back to Charleston. The SFL Saturday Showcase, presented by APM Music on Next Level Sports. Josh Zirkle, Ramos Lynn in the booth, Hattori Hanzo on stats, Cameron Irvine producing. So glad to have you back for the second half. After jumping out to a 10-0 lead, Louisiana has scored 20 unanswered, and they're getting the ball to start the second half. And they will open up for business on the 26-yard line. And Ramos, the story of this game so far might be Reggie Streeter, 13 carries. We have him at 73 yards and 2 touchdowns. What a game he's had so far.
Yeah, great game by him, by the offensive line. Cameron Collier has not been able to get the ball, but he has been awesome blocking for his running back. And another power set, so maybe another run.
Tommy Utah, the rookie, throwing it to the left side, and that is caught. And out to the, they'll spot that at the 34-yard line. I think that is Holden McNeil, the backup tight end. It is McNeil. McNeil getting a little jabberjaw in there while he can. And the backup's got to talk with Economy since they don't see the field terribly often. Second and short now, Ramos.
Yep, another power set. This time it's a little bit different with an offset fullback. Maybe a run this time just to get that 2 yards.
It is Streeter. Streeter go up the middle. He's going to get a first down. It's good. A little bit more. Breaking tackles left to right. Nobody could seem to get him wrapped up. What a run by Streeter. Louisiana moves the chains.
Yes, he is up to 88 yards of rushing as the secondary unable to make the tackle. Right there, another broken tackle, and finally able to bring him down to the ground. But a big first down close to midfield already for the Revolution.
Shades of BDG Hollywood with all the spin cycles on that play. Cameron Collier in the offset eye. 3 wideouts on the field for the Revs. Streeter again. And Streeter gets a block. And he gets another one. He's loose on the right side. To the 30. To the 20. One man left to beat it. Cannot quite get past John Stamengo. But Louisiana has themselves in the red zone. First and 10.
What a run right there for Reggie Streeter. He is loose, and the blocking has been unreal here in the last couple quarters of play as the Revolution is threatening for another touchdown. And let me tell you, if they score a touchdown, it will be 27-10. It's going to be pretty difficult for Charleston here in the second half, who has been shut out over the last quarter and change.
Collier will stay in the game. On the offset eye, Garrison Blue to the right. Utah throwing to the right. Streeter. Blue gives him a block, and he gets a few more yards. We'll call it a gain of 4. Also on the block there, number 69, Cole Katz, the tackle. Second and 6 for the Revs.
12 yards away from the end zone this time as B. Rowe is going to take a break. Maybe another swing pass here, actually, instead of a run. We'll see.
I think Chase Earl is the lone wide receiver. And Collier does get his first carry of the game. It's good for a couple yards. And that's about all you need out of that fullback dive, Ramos. Just element of surprise. You get a couple, get yourself into a 3rd and short.
Yep, it's going to be 3rd and 3. This Charleston defense showing a nickel. I think it's going to be another, quick pass to the inside probably. Or maybe a pass to the flat.
Collier, the fullback, stays in. Streeter gets the call. Streeter very close to the line. He's going to be a little bit short. And you see the average yards per carry there for Streeter. Came up short of that, though. It's going to be 4th and 1. What would you do in this situation, Ramos? Do you take the points or maybe try and jump out to a 3-score lead?
You take the points. I mean, you're dominating this game. Just try to get as many points as you possibly can. Your defense is doing a great job. Just go up 13 and, it's a good drive. It's a successful drive for you.
Otis Boudreaux from 23 yards. Spot is good. Kick is up. The attempt is successful. Boudreaux 3 for 3 on the field, has not missed so far. And now Louisiana up 13 on hometown Charleston Predators. Scores 23-10. Visit the SFL website at simulationfl.net for links to apparel from Sector 6, the official apparel provider of the Simulation Football League, and SFL mini helmets from 97 Sports Promotions. Sector 6 features replica team jerseys and completely customized jackets, flags, t-shirts, and more. Get the gear the fans wear with Sector 6, 97 Sports Promotions, and the SFL. And Charleston will start this drive at their own 23-yard line. TD Drew will start in the offset eye. 3 wideouts on the field. Swearinger will get the call on first down. He's going to get a yard or 2. And look who's there again, Ramos. Brian Craven, who has had Swearingen's number all game long. Swearingen sitting at 11 attempts for 11 yards because of that man, Brian Craven.
Yeah, I mean, this is a team that only has 2 linebackers. They have Diesel and Craven. And so far, they have combined for 10 tackles. Chuck Diesel has 2 for a loss. And they have not allowed anything on the ground today.
Heavy set for Charleston. A little confusion there on the handoff. And Swearingen.
Craven again.
Yep, Craven again. The shoddy handoff certainly didn't help, but Craven getting outstanding penetration in the backfield. And that is another TFL for Brian Craven. His 103 tackles led the team last season. Good enough for 18th on the SFL Season 16 leaderboard. And now 4 wide receivers. And Lyric Da Vinci lined up to the right. Drew with a deep drop. He's going to step up, throw to the left side. Nearly a one-handed catch by the backup wide receiver, Daniel Blumenthal. But Blumenthal could not haul it in. And that is a very auspicious 3-and-out for the Charleston Predators to start the second half.
Yeah, surprisingly, the ball was thrown behind the sticks. Normally, Charleston has thrown the ball deep a lot, especially to Buchanan Simons. But this time around, it's going to be a 4th down, and Louisiana is going to have pretty good field position here, probably around the 40-45 yard line on their own side of the field.
Louisiana has blocked a field goal already. They nearly blocked the punt. And that is fielded at the 40 by Mike Twinscrew. He's going to get this out to the 43. Let's take the SFL studios for a game break.
Thanks, Josh. This is Jet Zero running through people, Tom.
15 yards to the house. Just trucking fools left and right. Jet Zero putting Queen City up 10-7 here.
10-7 in the second quarter, about halfway through, over London in a North Divisional battle there. Back to Josh and Ramos in South Carolina.
Tommy Utah under center, trips to the top of your screen. And Reggie Streeter again getting the call, has a first down. One man to beat on the left side. And it is Johnny Bravo who finally brings him down into plus territory. Another tremendous run from Reggie Streeter. You see the numbers there.
Yeah, the former MVP now with 161 yards rushing as the offensive lineman got pancaked. But he did his job. As long as you free up your running back, it doesn't matter if you get thrown to the ground. What matters is the big gain, and the ball is at the 27-yard line now. The leader so far in this week for rushing is Kevin Say for the DC Dragons, who had a tremendous game in a win yesterday against Vegas. Reggie Streeter very close from him.
Utah deep drop on first down, under pressure, manages to get the throwaway. It's John Lowley, the rookie defensive end, taken 12th overall. After just 1 year with the Madison Lynx. You don't see that very often, Ramos, after a guy going to the big leagues after just 1 year in the minors.
Right, yeah, especially, with defensive linemen. I think Charleston got a steal on him. And I'm surprised that wasn't a penalty here for Utah. I mean, he threw the ball right to his offensive lineman on purpose, I think, just to avoid the sack. That should have been a penalty.
Short drop by Utah. That is caught. I believe that is Chase Earl. And I believe that is going to give him 2,000 yards all time. A career milestone for the 4th-year wide receiver. Congratulations to Chase Earl on 2,000 yards.
Maybe another run to Collier here.
They are in that pro set. And Utah's going to deal instead. It looks like that is Garrison Blue. It is. But that is good enough for first down. Louisiana looking very potent here on the offensive side of the ball, Ramos.
Yeah, and a tough situation to stop here for Charleston, because you obviously have the threat of Collier running the ball up the middle, but Instead of that, they throw a little, tight end screen, and just enough for a first down, a well-called play.
Cam Collier takes a seat, 3 wideouts for the Revs. Deep drop by Utah, that is knocked down in front and intercepted! Falling right into the hands of John Stamango. Didn't even realize he had the ball. They got up and tried to run with it. But either way, a disappointing end to a pretty good drive from Louisiana.
Yeah, that's one of the best defensive back plays I've seen in a while. He gets down to his knees, gets the interception, and gets up because he can run with it. Gets chased down by Twin Screw. But a great stop here for the Charleston defense.
It almost looked like a catcher blocking a sinker behind the plate in a baseball game. And then the way he just came right back up. Very impressive to add a couple yards with an interception return. As it stands now, TD Drew from his own 21-yard line has 4 wide receivers out on the field. Pump fake, throwing over the middle, and nobody in the vicinity. And you can see Drew picking himself up off the turf thanks to the efforts of that man right there, Luther Gahn, the third-year defensive tackle, 2nd and 10.
Yeah, and I think the play was meant to be for Da Vinci, but thanks to the hit, the ball was all sorts of off on that play, and lucky it wasn't intercepted.
Nothing but white jerseys around that. Swearingen and then Terrell Sutherland both check in. Swearingen leading the way. Or Sutherland leading the way for Swearingen. And Swearingen breaking tackles left and right, fighting to the 40-yard line. An inspired run by Keith Swearingen, who I think doubled his total on the day, if not more so, with that run.
Yeah, I think he did with that, as he was bouncing off of defenders, breaking yet another tackle right there by Ryan, and getting a first down up to the 39. As you can see, 26 yards, and most of them on that one run.
Sutherland, the fullback, was leading the way for Swearingen there, and Sutherland will stay in the game. And will do so again. Swearingen around the right side this time. And a gaggle of white shirts there as well. Gain of 2, 2nd and 8.
Tank Bennett involved on the play. Again, Tank Bennett has been one of the best tacklers in the league for what seems to be 4 or 5 seasons now in a row. Very active in the run game always.
I believe that was Sutherland. Yes, it was, on the dive, on the fullback dive. And Sutherland doing a nice job getting his team into a 3rd and short. I would call that a successful run, Ramos.
Yeah, and he looked a little bit like Swearingen with that burst. He looked pretty quick on that play. A ton of burst, getting past the line of scrimmage, and a good play to get a 3rd and 2. Looks like man-to-man coverage here.
Drew, short drop, under pressure, and down he goes. TD Drew taking a brutal sack there. And we didn't get the number on that. It was number 76, Luther Gahn, who's had himself a nice game. 3 sacks last season. And Gahn showing up on the score sheet with a sack there this afternoon. And Charleston's going to punt.
Great job right there by the defense. It was press man-to-man coverage, and in that situation, if the wide receiver doesn't get open pretty quickly, you have Luther Gahn and those big boys in the defensive line coming at you, and that's exactly what happened.
Louisiana will get this ball back to the 26. Mike Twinscrew on the return, and here comes the Louisiana offense. Visit the SFL's YouTube channel at youtube.com/SimulationFL for an archive of every game, every draft, every moment you might have missed since the Simulation Football League opened shop in 2013. That's youtube.com/SimulationFL. Bunch formation to the bottom of your screen. Utah's going to air it out to Streeter, and Streeter has a first down going up the right sideline. And Reggie Streeter, 1 if by air, 2 if by land. That's not exactly how Paul Revere do it, but that's how Reggie Streeter's doing it tonight.
Yeah, and a great play design right there by the Revolution, as he has a convoy of wide receivers blocking in front of him. And the Revolution offense has looked pretty sharp, other than a couple mistakes here and there. Ever since they were down 10-0, they've been pretty unstoppable.
Cameron Collier leading the way for Streeter again. Streeter will bounce it out, spin cycle, and get himself into plus territory. Zach Lay, number 41, the third-year strong safety, coming up with the tackle. And it's 2nd and 3 for Louisiana.
Registrator quickly approaching 200 yards in this game. Feat that has not been completed too much in this early part of the season.
Unofficially, we have him at 201 all-purpose yards, 169 on the ground, and he'll lose a little bit of that total there due to the efforts of number 45, Jack Hoffman, the 5th-year linebacker, coming up with a big stop there, and it's 3rd and 3.
Yeah, we've not seen much out of Hoffman today. It's been mostly the secondary trying to support on runs. But an empty set here, maybe an out route just to get a first down.
Streeter on the bench, throwing over the middle, and that is fortunately not picked off. Garrison Blue, the intended receiver, he was tightly covered by that very good Charleston Predators defense. And here comes Walter Melanishin, the rookie punter. Only 4 SFL teams out of 24 have star punters. Louisiana, one of them.
Yeah, and this is exactly why you have him. You want to pin him deep inside the 5 and make Charleston go the length of the field.
The coffin corner, as you indicated, Ramos, in play here on this punt from Melanishin under pressure, but he does get it away. And that will be fielded around the 10-yard line by Jay Taylor. And he'll get this to the Charleston 20. A good but not great punt from Melanishin, but very nice coverage by the Louisiana special teams.
Yeah, and unfortunately not able to pin him deep for Louisiana. Charleston will get the ball at the 20, which is not too bad. And fortunately for Charleston, it's only a 2-touchdown game. So if they can get a score here in this drive, a touchdown that is, they have the entirety basically of the 4th quarter to get another one.
A terrific point, Ramos, as Charleston tries desperately to get Keith Swearigan going. And Swearigan, other than the 24-yard run, has done very, very little. Louisiana defense made it a point, clearly, to corral the all-star halfback, and they have done a good job of that so far. Only 39 yards for the 7th-year halfback. Swearigan again. Nowhere to go. Doug Day meets him behind the line, and that is going to be a TFL. And Doug Day is going to celebrate. Well, we got a player down.
Oh, it's Tank Bennett. He's one of the leaders of this defense. I will dare to say he's the leader of this defense. Obviously, Brian Craven coming from a Lone Star. But let's see what happens here. Oh, it's just non-contact. Hopefully, it's just a cramp, and it's not like a hamstring or something. We'll try to get an update for you as soon as possible.
As soon as that becomes available. Tank Bennett, 128 tackles, 6 interceptions in season 16. Led the team in both of those categories. And now TD Drew has one less defender to worry about with a short drop here on 3rd and 7, and that is caught by Ken Macaro. Right on the left half of the field, 9 catches on 9 targets, and Charleston has another first down.
And from Charleston, you have to take advantage of the fact that Louisiana's one defender down. I would not be shocked if they try to throw the ball deep here to Simons or to Macaro. They do have 3 wide receivers in this formation.
Drew under center, gets the snap off, throwing over the middle. That is deflected and then knocked to the turf. Chuck Diesel tried to make a sneak with it, but we see you, Chuck. That will be the end of the 3rd quarter. More football coming your way after this very short break. You're watching the SFL presented by APM Music on Next Level Sports. May I have some fours in chat, please? Week 2 SFL action presented by APM Music, Louisiana, Charleston. Josh Zirkle, Ramos Lynn in the booth, Hattori Hanzo on stats, Cameron Irvine producing. TD Drew and Charleston need to make up 13 points here. They've got 1 quarter to do it. And there's the handoff to Swearingen on the quick dive. And that goes nowhere. Brian Craven, once again, who has had Swearingen's number all game long, comes up with the stop, and it's 3rd and 9, Ramos.
Yeah, it's tough for me to say who's really the MVP of today's game. I mean, you normally have to give it to Streeter because he has the yardage, he has the touchdowns. But these 2 linebackers, Diesel and Craven, are like, co-MVPs of today's game so far, in my opinion.
13 tackles between the 2 of them. Drew will throw again, and that is caught by Lyric Da Vinci up the left side of the field, finding that hole in the defense. Now that Tank Bennett is out with injury, and that is a huge first down for the Charleston offense.
Yeah, it really is. As you say, very patient Drew, waiting for his tight end to come across the linebacker, get himself open, and a big first down. Now, the thing for Charleston here, I will say they need about 20 yards to get in some sort of field goal range because Bretchen has 1 blocked and 1 missed. So he has missed 2 total field goals in today's game.
Charleston in plus territory, and Drew completes out of bounds. Let's sneak over to SFL Studios for a game break. Cam and Mike. Cam and Ted, excuse me. Tom,
Ted, what? He goes by many things. There's been so many scores in this game. We got a lot to update people on, Tom.
That's right. Jet Zero here with another touchdown. He's up to 81 yards on 11 carries. Touchdowns. But London just scored pretty quickly to make it 17-14.
That they did, and then Doug Spelling got a kickoff return for a touchdown, so Queen City's now up 24-14 in that one. Deep ball here.
Oh, there's a deep ball there. Buchanan Simons, how dare you score in our game break? Another huge touchdown for Charleston, and another touchdown for Buchanan Simons.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I was talking about. Charleston, they needed to go deep because they went exactly where Tank Bennett is located on the field. That's number 31, the backup, playing instead of Tank Bennett. And that's great play calling on offense if you're Charleston. You have to take advantage of what you get. And, even though it's unfortunate that Bennett is out with an injury, you have to keep playing. Next man up, and Charleston gets a touchdown.
The lead is now only 7 for Louisiana, and Bretchet's extra point sails through the uprights, make it 6. 23-17. And Charleston refuses to go down here defending home turf. Ramos, we got a game.
Yeah, we sure do, especially if Tank Bennett, still on the sidelines for a little while. Louisiana has not been able to put many points here in the second half, only 3 points in the second half. So Charleston's defense is clamping down, and there's pretty much an entire quarter to go.
Twin screw on the return. We'll get this out to the 29. That is an above-average return. Anything above the 20, I feel like, is gravy, Ramos. Is that the general consensus on special teams?
Yeah, probably yes.
And so Tommy Utah, the rookie, who's had himself not an outstanding game, 2 interceptions, 14-20 for just 180 yards. We'll start 1st and 10 here in the heavy set. And there's the handoff to Reggie Streeter, who gets a couple of blocks. And Streeter fighting for extra yards despite being driven backwards. That's a gain of 6. It'll be 2nd and 4 for Louisiana.
Tank Bennett's update was up, but the graphics kind of, covered each other. So we'll try to get something for you on Tank Bennett as soon as possible. If we see number 27 on the field, we'll let you know. But right now is the Louisiana offense on the field. They're going to throw.
And there's a throw and a bobble.
Almost.
And that, of course, is very, very close to being intercepted. And that was Holden McNeil, who had trouble holding on to that pass. You see what I did there, Ramos?
Yeah.
Ramos?
I sure did. And McNeil has actually been pretty reliable in today's game. Has not been too bad. He's the player who has a grab out of the non-star players for 8 yards. So it's not been bad, but a drop right there.
Utah again, short drop under pressure, and down he goes. That is a brutal shot taken from Tommy Utah, and it's Jack Brown, the 9th-year linebacker, putting the wood to the rookie. Then it's 4th and 7.
Yeah, Charleston taking a gamble on defense. Normally, Jack Brown stays for coverage, especially on those quick throw plays, but they blitz him right up the middle, and it pays off. So Charleston is going to get the ball back. We'll see if Bennett is on the field.
Well, Initian pressured under that punt, but it does get away, and Charleston will get this out to the 37-yard line. You see the frustration there from Jay Taylor trying to do a little bit more with that effort. The SFL invades Houston August 6th through 8th. That is this coming weekend, to induct the 2021 Hall of Fame class, showcase in-person Week 3 action, and to connect with the SFL community all around the world. Look for live camera feeds on our Twitch channel at twitch.tv/simulationfl. And TD Drew saw a simulated wide receiver on the right side, I believe. That is way incomplete, 2nd and 10.
Yeah, that's incomplete. And Bennett's not on the field. It's still the backup safety taking the reps. So, you know,
that is bad news.
Yeah, and Charleston is certainly going to try to scheme a receiver open down the field again.
And this is a nice time to have 5-star DBs because you still have 4 to spread around, Ramos.
Yeah.
And now TD Drew's going to have to find that gaping hole. Da Vinci on the catch there on the right side. He does get out of bounds. That's going to be a gain of 5 to make it 3rd and medium. You see the comparison there. And Tommy Utah, I think, playing a little bit better than those stats might suggest.
I do agree. Even though he has 2 interceptions, he has been pretty good ever since the second quarter. Not spectacular, but has done what he, has needed to do.
Obviously, very shaky first drive, but has been fair to middle. And after that, there's a catch. And Buchanan Simons again on the slant, going up the middle, gets his team into plus territory. Another Charleston first down.
Great route, great throw, great catch by the veteran TD Drew to the veteran Buchanan Simons, as it was Doug Day actually who was just not in good position to make the play. But Buchanan Simons, man, has 6 grabs now for close to 150 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Less than 8 minutes remaining. Clock continues to run. Louisiana staying in that nickel defense. They have that backup defensive back on the field. Drew dealing to the right side. That is caught by Simons. They're going to say he had a foot in.
That's
credit
close.
him with the completion. And we may see another look at that, but as it stands now, 2nd and 7.
Yeah, I would not challenge if I'm Louisiana, because at the end of the day, it's only 3 yards. So I don't think it's worth more than actually a challenge. It doesn't look like they're going to challenge either way. I agree with that. It may have been incomplete, but it's not worth it.
Swearinger up the middle. He'll get maybe a yard, and Brian Craven again, who has almost single-handedly sealed off Keith Swearinger from the outside world. 3rd and 6.
Yeah, and outside of that 24-yard run by Keith Swearinger, he will be averaging less than 1 yard a carry today. And that speaks volumes to how Louisiana has just completely shut him down today.
Trips to the bottom of your screen. Swearinger by himself in the backfield. Short drop by TD Drew. Throw it to the right side. And that is nearly a one-handed catch, but Jay Taylor cannot haul it in. It's Rollman Hood on the defense, corralling Taylor. And that will take the Charleston offense off the field.
Yeah, and that's one of the most difficult plays to do for a defensive back. It's a one-on-one. The ball was placed beautifully by TD Drew, actually. And just a great play by Hood, just punching the ball out. And it's an incomplete.
We're going to see a punt here. This would have been a field goal in excess of 50 yards.
Yeah.
Probably a smart decision.
Yeah, he was short from 51, so from 56, I don't think so.
And that ball will nestle inside the 1 yard line. And that is where we'll pick it up when we come back. Do not go anywhere. You're watching the Simulation Football League presented by APM Music on Next Level Sports. Welcome back to Charleston. They've got Louisiana backed up about as far as they could go. Tommy Utah standing in his own end zone to take the snap on 1st and 10. They give it to Reggie Streeter. And Streeter will give his team a little bit of breathing room. Welcome back to week 2 action here in the SFL. Josh Circle, Ramos Lynn in the booth. Latori Hanzo on stats. Cameron Irvine producing here on Next Level Sports. Louisiana scored 20 points after Charleston jumped up 10-0. And now Reggie Streeter will take a shot behind the line of scrimmage. And that is number 43, Corey Menner. Menner putting the hurt on in the run game. And now it's 3rd and long, Ramos Lynn.
Yeah, Streeter up to 175 yards. He's averaging about 8 yards per carry. But nothing there. And I think this is a passing situation.
Well, they actually are going to run. A little bit of a surprise there.
Yeah, I mean, you don't want to throw an interception on this side of like this portion of the field, but yeah, I mean, with 5 minutes left, you give the ball to Charleston, down 1 player on defense, and they just need a touchdown to go on top. It'll be very interesting.
Yes, yes, indeed. And you can see the punt here to Walter Melanishin, who will have his heels almost on the goalpost. Punt is away, no pressure from Charleston. And they will field this at the 35-yard line. And that is Jay Taylor, who puts his team in tremendous field position. Brad Bretchett, nearly in field goal range at the onset of this drive with 5:21 remaining here in Charleston, South Carolina.
Yeah, he's in field goal range. And depending on how this drive goes, actually a field goal will be an option here. You know, if there's enough time, you can kick a field goal, be down 3 points only, and you just need 1 more to tie it. So it's not necessarily 4th down territory here.
Drew, long drop on 1st down, throw to the left side, nearly intercepted. That is number 54. That is a backup for Louisiana. That is Vincent Powers, 6'2", 245. And Powers finding himself a little bit of action in the absence of Tank Bennett, coming up with a pass deflection there.
Yeah, and that's why the defensive coordinator just did. He put his linebacker to go as deep as possible to help the young, strong safety who has been struggling so far. And a good play call there by the defense.
Swearingen back in the game. Drew dealing again to the left side, and that is caught! A tremendous catch by Buchanan Simons, who's come up with so many clutch catches in this game. Gets Charleston into the red zone. It's 1st and 10.
Yeah, definitely the player of the game for Charleston if they happen to win. You know, Buchanan Simons has been open all game long, and it's just been a matter of TD Drew, throwing the ball deep up top and finding his man. Buchanan Simons, more than 160 yards now with 2 scores.
Swearingen will sit out. TD Drew under center. 4 wideouts on the field with Da Vinci. Drew under pressure, and down he goes. Another sack, and I think that is Luther Gond again, standing over his prey. Sayonara to TD Drew on that play. It's 2nd and 16.
His 2nd sack of the game for Luther Gond. And this is exactly what I was talking about. 2nd down and 16. You know, if you happen to have a 4th and 16, let's call it, you have to kick a field goal. That's more likely than, converting a 4th and 16.
With time coming off the clock with that as well, Ramos. And there is another catch, but a flag on the play.
I think that's a PI, and that will be a 1st down.
Ken McCarroll credited with the catch, and that will be pass interference. And you hear the Charleston fans going crazy. That's DPI on number 22, Josh Reese. That's a huge turn of events there for Louisiana.
Yeah, it's essentially just like a 4-yard penalty, but the important thing is that it's going to be another 1st down. It's an automatic 1st down and 10 here for the Predators. And that sack means nothing.
Excuse me, Ramos. The penalty was on Evan Arthur.
Yeah.
For Louisiana. Drew from under center, throw it to the left side, and that was on time to Ken McCarroll. But the defense was there. Mike Ryan, the Sky Marshal, there on the coverage, 2nd and 10.
Yes, indeed. And we have not seeing much of Keith Swearingen here, of course, because you're in a situation where you're throwing the ball. Now it's a power set. Maybe they're gonna go with Swearingen one time, and they're gonna try to throw on third down if that presents.
There is Swearingen. And Swearingen stopped behind the line again. It's Rolleman Hood. Every defensive back in this Louisiana defense coming up to play against the run at some point in this game. And Rolleman Hood gets a TFL there. And it's a long third down for the Charleston offense.
Yeah, the only thing that you cannot do if you're Charleston is throw the ball into like double coverage or something and get, intercepted. Everything else is fine. Even a sack is fine. Like that's okay. Just don't throw an interception.
5 wideouts for the Preds. Drew over the middle. And that is caught! How in the world did he catch that ball? Touchdown, Charleston. That is Daniel Blumenthal, the backup wide receiver, coming up huge. The man of the hour now. And Charleston has tied this game.
Yes, they have. Great protection right there given to TD Drew. And the pass is thrown beautifully in the end zone. Mike Ryan had some tight coverage, but a great catch by the backup wide receiver for a score. And now, if you're Louisiana, it's not the end of the world. You just need a field goal to potentially win the game, and you still have a lot of time left with 3 timeouts.
Brad Bretchett had a field goal blocked earlier in this game. Will attempt the extra point to give his team a 1-point lead, and he does. Charleston, for the first time in the half, takes the lead. It's 24-23 with 3.5 to play before things get a little too crazy. At the end of this game, we're going to send you to New York for bonus coverage of London, Queen City. And then Cameron Irvine and Tom Welsh will react to the early slate of games as a whole and get you prepped and ready for the next block of SFL action here on Next Level Sports. That's all coming up in the post-game update. Charleston's going to give this back to Louisiana, who find themselves a point down with just over 3.5 to play. And there is the return by Mike Twinscrew. And let's go back to SFL Studios now for an update. Cam and Tom.
Thank you. Queen City, Tom, is back on top.
Yeah, here's James Matthew Jr. with the red zone touchdown to put them up 31-14.
The Corsairs on their way to a 2-0 start for the first time in years.
Back to South Carolina, Reggie Streeter again. Over 170 yards on the ground on the day for Streeter. And that's not counting the 38 through the air on 4 receptions. And he's going to be the linchpin of this drive if they're going to get back in this, Ramos.
Yeah, he has to be. Jack Brown again. I think actually that's Jack Hoffman showing a blitz. Maybe a run to the outside could be a good idea here.
Streeter again, stop behind the line. Corey Menner, among others, in there to make the tackle. And that is going to bring up 3rd and medium, not where Louisiana wants to be.
Yeah, it's going to be 3rd and 6, as you said. 3 wide receivers. It's a passing situation here. Nickel defense.
Clock continues to run, 2:38 to play. Streeter cannot get it out of first gear on that play. Dick Baker, we've not called Dick Baker's name today.
Yeah,
and
questionable
that is a
play
TFL
call
for him.
Yeah, questionable play call for him. And I think you punt the ball here with Milinishin. I know that you're losing, but if you miss on this 4th down, you're giving the ball to Charleston in scoring position. You cannot do that. You have to punt the ball and play some defense. You still have the 2-minute warning and 3 timeouts.
And you mentioned the play call with the clock continuing to run. And now Charleston with 2:05 remaining can get out of this game with a win with just a couple first downs.
Yeah, that's all they need, really. This next play is going to take us to the 2-minute warning, so you run the ball here. There's no way you throw the ball with 5 seconds left in, for us to get to the 2-minute warning. So
and Elbert Russell,
you run here.
Excuse me, Ramos. Elbert Russell checks back in for the heavy set, and Swearingen will get a couple yards, and that will get us to the 2-minute warning. Don't touch that dial, screen, or mouse. We got a 1-point game here in Charleston. You're watching the SFL, presented by APM Music on Next Level Sports. Welcome back to Charleston. We got a 1-point game here between the Revolution and the Predators. Charleston up by 1. All they need is a couple first downs. They're going to walk out of here with a win. Louisiana needs a stop. Sutherland in the game. Swearingen up the middle again, and that has been the story for Keith Swearingen tonight, as Louisiana is going to burn a timeout with 1:57 remaining. And there it's Brian Craven again, who has had Keith Swearingen's number all night long. Coming up on the postgame bonus coverage of London Queen City. Cam and Tom will react to the early slate, and we're going to preview the afternoon doubleheader. You're not going to want to miss either one of those fabulous matchups. And now second down, Swearingen again. Spin move has a first down and more. Going down the right side. Can he beat that defender? Not quite. He's down to the 25. And Louisiana is going to burn that second time out.
Yeah, but it's actually better for Swearingen that he didn't score. Because if you score, you kick the extra point, it's an 8-point game. You're giving the ball to Louisiana in a just one possession game. It's better to get the first down, as many yards as you can, get tackled in bounds as he did, and now you can just kill the clock. What a time to have your best run of the game.
Outstanding pursuit, though, by Derek Genko, the third-year defensive end. Genko keeping up step for step with Swearingen, who made first contact on that touchdown-saving tackle. Clock stop with 1:48, and now the best play in football, TD Drew, is going to line this up into victory formation, and Louisiana is going to burn their last time out.
Yeah, now, this is not going to kill the clock. You know, I thought Charleston was going to keep running the ball to try to get another first down and kill it. This is not going to kill the clock. There's going to be about 15 to 20 seconds left for the Louisiana offense to get a touchdown. That's obviously if Brad Bretchett converts on a field goal. He's missed 2 today.
Yes, one was short from 53 yards, and one was blocked earlier in the game. So this is not a done deal by any stretch of the imagination.
Yeah, not a done deal. You have to think that Charleston has obviously the upper hand. They have only allowed 3 points in the entirety of the second half. The defense has been tremendous, but it's not over yet. Now, Louisiana has not shown much of a deep passing game, which works for Charleston's side, but either way, there's still a chance.
And Tommy Utah, who has yet to throw a touchdown pass in the major leagues, and as TD Drew takes a third knee out of victory formation, Brad Bretchett and the Charleston field goal unit will take the field. This will be a 46-yard attempt for Bretchett. As we mentioned, 1 of 3 on the day. 1 was short, 1 was blocked. And he will kick this with about 30 seconds of game clock remaining. Spot. Kick is up. And that is good, giving Charleston a 4-point lead with 25 seconds remaining. Changes the calculus significantly for the Revolution.
Yeah, and those 6 points that Charleston couldn't convert on those 2 missed field goals looming large right now, because obviously that would have been game. But at the end of the day, it's 25 seconds right now with a return probably from 15 to 20 seconds, as I said, for the Louisiana Revolution offense to go the length of the field. They need a touchdown.
Mike Twinscrew waiting for the kick. Will take it from his own goal line. Veers to the right side, has a hole, and nearly broke one, were it not for Josh Reese, who put the hurting on him. But nonetheless, a nice return for Twinscrew to the 36-yard line. And Tommy Utah has 20 seconds to pull a rabbit out of his hat.
Yeah, and that's why you put some high-paid players on special teams. Just in case something like that happens, you have your security player to make a stop instead of going all the way for a touchdown and a kick return.
2 tight ends, 3 wide receivers for Louisiana. Utah over the middle, floats one. That is caught by Chase Earl. Earl in plus territory. Here comes the hurry up. 10 seconds remaining now for Louisiana. They're out of timeouts, as you said, Ramos. Utah scrambling to the line. Come on, Utah, get under there. And he will spike it with 3 seconds left.
Yeah, he probably missed on like, at least 7 or 8 seconds right there, which would have been an extra play. But either way, it was going to be Hail Mary time. Maybe instead of getting 2 shots, maybe you just get 1. So Hail Mary coming up.
Tommy Utah, who threw 31 touchdowns in 2 seasons in the SFL minor league, will try to get his first career touchdown. Here and down he goes! Johnny Bravo, of course, coming up with the sack to end the game. Final score on a Charleston Predators 27, Revolution 23. How'd you like that, Ramos Lynn?
Yeah, that was a phenomenal game and a great recovery by both teams, actually. Obviously, Charleston started winning 10-0. Louisiana got up 23-10, and Charleston scores the last 17 points of the game to win it.
A seesaw battle. And I think, and we talked about this at the break, that the injury to Tank Bennett turned the tide in this game in Charleston's favor. Reggie Streeter, phenomenal game. But in the end, it was TD Drew and his monster game that settled the score for Charleston.
Yeah. For player of the game, though, I'm not sure who you're going. I'm actually going Buchanan Simons for this one. TD Drew was phenomenal in this game, but I think Buchanan Simons just made a couple of unbelievable grabs for touchdowns. Essentially the game winner included as well. So I will give it to him.
Career touchdowns, 50 and 51 for Buchanan Simons in this game. Ramos, I know he's not going to get it, but I was absolutely enthralled with the performance of Brian Craven today. 10 tackles, 2 TFLs, and really, he led the charge in shutting down Keith Swearingen, which I think gave Louisiana an outstanding chance to win this game. Unfortunately, they came up a little bit short. I think it will be Buchanan Simons, though. TD Drew, his stat line, though, 25 of 40 for 339 yards, 3 touchdowns and an interception. Phenomenal numbers for the left-handed sixth-year quarterback. And as we continue to watch some of the second half highlights here, TD Drew, most important, biggest stat of all, Ramos, Charleston's 2-0.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the important thing. It doesn't matter if you win by 1 or by 50. 2-0 is 2-0. First game, it was a complete defensive performance by the Charleston Predators. This time around, the offense had to bail the defense out a little bit, and they did. The important thing is that you're 2-0, and it doesn't get any better than that to start your season.
As we wait for the player of the game, Ramos, let me say it was just a pleasure to call the game with you. Really enjoyed it. We couldn't have asked for a better affair. Your player of the game is Buchanan Simons. And the numbers back it up. 8 catches, 176 yards, and 2 touchdowns. We thank you for joining this presentation of the Simulation Football League presented by APM Music. For Hattori Hanzo, Cameron Irvine, for Ramos Lynn, I'm Josh Circle. We're going to send it to Colin Northrup and Rick Northrup for the conclusion of London and Queen City. Guys, take it away whenever you're ready.
Thank you.
Post cut. It was beautifully defended by Ted Haynes, the veteran cornerback.
Yeah, from our angle, it looks like, was there a shot at it? But there wasn't. Man, close.
Welcome. Those of you who saw the Charleston Predators come back against the Louisiana Revolution, win 27-23. I'm Colin Northrup. He's Rick Northrup. This is bonus coverage. This game is the London Knights trying to make things a little more respectable, down 41-14. Robert Merrill out of the backfield catches that down to the 21.
Queen City has looked really good. They've scored on offense and on special teams. They've got a number of interceptions. Does Queen City? London struggled on defense. They do have a defensive touchdown, but they've not been able to put drives together consistently to produce scores.
3 wide receivers out for London. 2 to the bottom. Pickler changing the play at the line of scrimmage. Take a quick drop, fires it out to Merrill. Merrill trying to make Crow miss, and he hasn't missed very many tackles today. He only picks up 1.
In addition to some picks, Johnny Pickler has thrown some really interesting and amazing passes as well for those of you just joining. But it's not been enough. Also, the Rick Meter is here with us in Queen City. The Rick Meter has been full lean Queen City, full predicted Queen City victory since early in the third.
Pickler, end zone, incomplete. Looking for the second tight end. That's Phillips. It's Tony Phillips. Just once again, his second drop of the game. He was pretty open that time. He just forgot to catch the ball. Although Johnny had it right on the money. Our statisticians are Shane Kaufman and Dwayne Schindler. Leading tackler for Queen City's BJ Loveless with 9 total tackles, 6 solo. Here is Pickler, end zone, touchdown.
There we go.
Touchdown on the play to Sarah Storm. It's now 41-20, pending the extra point. Second touchdown pass of the day for Johnny Pickler. And this was a beaut.
Wow. Tough catch.
King Jamal was right there. We'll have the extra point with 4:50 to go. Of course, Peter McLongfellow. He'll be a cult hero in London forever. He'll never have to buy a drink when he goes out to pubs in London. And a 49-yard field goal as time expired against Atlanta last week.
Indeed. Well, and with that extra point, it's now 41-21 in favor of your Queen City Corsairs here in Buffalo. But don't look now, Colin. It's only a 3-score game. 4:50 to go. We've seen crazier things happen. And I know, unfortunately, Colin, not to bring up a sore spot, your St. Louis Gladiators have been on both the positive and losing end of those crazy things. As here's your onside kick. Recovered
by Queen City. And the Corsairs will take over at the London 37, 1st and 10. 4:48 to go. I expect a heavy dose of Mr. Zero, who's fast approaching 200 yards. We'll get the carry here, and we'll add 1 more yard to that total.
And the London Knights expecting a heavy dose of Mr. Zero also, Colin. A little no surprises here in the late going in the fourth quarter. We'll see who comes out better. Of course, running with Jet Zero burns clock and typically has produced first downs for Queen City.
London showing blitz off the edges. Caswell, like the veteran he is, milking this play clock down. Zero takes it again, but he's unable to find much running room. Only picks up 1 more yard for his troubles. It's now up to 196 on 26 toes to the ball.
An unfamiliar 3rd and long for Queen City in this game.
Well, for Queen City, they're 8 of 12 on 3rd down. They've gained 18 first downs. This will be play number 65. These teams have been pretty much even in terms of number of plays.
That's interesting, Colin. I did not expect that. Thank you, Dwayne and Shane.
Here's Zero. Oh, we got 2. We needed 8. Dally Mac Scarborough on it. And it looks like they'll be sending the punter out.
They will, indeed. Clock still running. London with its a full set of timeouts here in the second half. Is that right? Am I right?
Yes, that is correct. As we have a penalty on the play. I don't know. Maybe they took too long. We'll see.
They did. Care.
No, we got a neutral zone infraction penalty. No, it's an encroachment. One of the gunners must have lined up wrong. That was Tony.
Oh, my goodness. trying to make something happen and loses their mind and forgets some basic football.
And I believe that puts it in field goal range now.
Yeah. I mean, hey, it can happen. I read the wrong read earlier. Totally straight-faced, too. And you're right, Colin.
This does put them in field goal range. Spotted at the 35, left hash. Made 2 field goals of 23 and 26. This one a bit longer. From 44, he makes it.
And it's good. So Queen City, not afraid to add insult to injury, takes advantage of that encroachment penalty.
Well, he is a rookie, and they want to see what his leg is, so I don't blame him for necessarily wanting to dig the field goal.
No, I meant the encroachment penalty on London. Queen City wants to rub it in their eye.
Aaron Storm to the 28, 2:53 in the fourth quarter. London had a nice touchdown drive last time they had the ball. Let's see if they can put together a nice one here.
First and 10 from
2 minutes, 53 seconds. Here, Pickler. Oh, that was out of bounds to Mike.
Yeah.
234 yards for Johnny. 226 for Caswell. Second and 10. Rick, this is a London team a franchise that has never been to playoffs. They won 5 games last year, came up 1 game short, had a couple close ones to Baltimore, which ultimately cost them a playoff spot. Can they get over the hump? Oh, I thought Benji Matson was going to catch that ball.
So did I.
But ultimately, it was incomplete.
You know, every game counts, right? And seems like you come back and recover from the close loss or the game you gave away when you should have won. And it seems like those always end up being more costly than you think they are at the time.
Third and 10, Pickler changes to play at the line of scrimmage.
You know, I know Benji wanted some snacks earlier in the chat. Let's see if he's got some juice here.
Merrill catches it out of the backfield. The first down to 3rd and 9. Second time we've seen that play be successful. Johnny over the middle, knocked down, incomplete. King Jamal out there playing with some of the reserves.
Little veteran leadership there, keeping the new guys in the right spots at the right time.
Bit of a special teams ace. You know, special teams, a lot of people think, special teams are just kickers and punters. But as we've seen, the return men have been huge, particularly for Queen City.
Well, and the blockers, too.
And this is going to be intercepted. This is Kappa Jones, grabs this out of the air, and the Reaper back bags himself an interception, his first of the day.
As you had pointed out on that Doug Spelling kickoff return right at the end of the first half, Colin, it was the backup linebacker that throws the final springing block on Longfellow, the kicker, to score that. Right.
And now we have the backups in for the Corsairs, so this should be fun. This is Booker Repka is the quarterback. The halfback is Blake Radkiel. Here's to get to Radkiel up the middle, and he picks up 3 yards.
A little update on Benji Matson, and his nutrition.
All right, the backups are in over on the Queen City and London game. Queen City has that one well in hand. They're on their way to 2-0. When we come back, we'll have post-game of Charleston and Louisiana, and we'll get you out to Florida and Jacksonville as well as SFL action rolls on Next Level Sports next. Welcome to SFL Post Game here on Next Level Sports with Tom Welsh. I'm Cameron Irvine. A back and forth game between Louisiana and Charleston ends in a Charleston Predator victory. They are now 2-0, and they will be the only team in the Atlantic Division 2-0, with a couple of Atlantic Division teams coming up next in Florida and Jacksonville looking for their first win. Up and down game. Tank Bennett injury was really pivotal in their turnaround.
Yeah, absolutely. That was the game right there when Tank Bennett went down with his injury. That really opened the door, for the deep ball for Charleston. And, if you watch that game, you see, Reggie Streeter just running all over the place and Louisiana looking pretty solid the whole game. And then, boom, Tank Bennett goes down and there's the game.
So Louisiana 0-2, but they got to feel a little bit better about the way they played today. Obviously, that Bennett injury was a big deal. Injuries are a part of the game. What can you do? Queen City nearly hangs a 50-burger on London, and the shock of the day so far, 47-21. That game is ticking down. The last play of the game coming up in that one. But London humbled Queen City, now at the top of the North Division, with D.C. and Baltimore hot on their tail. But these four-time champion Corsairs, it's been a long time since we've seen them dominate over the last couple of weeks like they have.
Yeah, absolutely. Their defense has really stepped up today, having 4 picks on Johnny Pickler.
Man, somebody's going to clip that and send it to him, I'm sure.
I know. It's okay. He only lives like 5 minutes down the road, so we'll see. But no, he had a tremendous game last week, setting records for London, and then it just wasn't his week this week. Jet Zero unofficially running for almost 200 yards with a $198. Queen City's looking real good. I'm afraid of them.
Yeah, they look sharp. 440 yards today, 226 through the air, 214 on the ground. Great balance from Queen City. So coming up next, here's what we've got coming. Jacksonville and Florida. Loser goes to 0-2. Those two teams not used to being 0-2, that's for sure. Florida trying to shake off the slow start. Vancouver at Lone Star will join us later in coverage. Of course, Vancouver put up 55. Tom Pepper broke the record last week for passing yards in a game with 737. Lone Star has to figure out how to stop them. Be looking forward to most in this second block, Tom.
You just said it, Vancouver and Tom Pepper. I want to see that man sling the ball a little bit more. I don't think he's going to put up 700-plus yards again, but I definitely want to see what he can do.
We'll take a look at it after the break. It's Florida and Jacksonville coming your way next. Tim Hackett, Aaron Alexander have the call from the Eye in Fort Lauderdale. This has been your SFL postgame update. We'll be right back after this.